So again, Sheriff Bilal, thank you for speaking to us on such short notice. Just want to get you on record. Everyone in Philadelphia knows who you are, but of course, throughout the country, many people don't. More people are starting to know who you are because of recent events. So we just want to have a breezy conversation about what's going on in the news and about the sheriff, your job as sheriff of Philadelphia. So here we go. First question: your statement about ICE garnered national attention. You calling the agents made up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Do you regret using that language, those particular words today, given the backlash?
No, because I was talking about these past 11 months of the people that we are seeing across this country that are ill trained. 47 days is not enough to be a trained law enforcement professionals. And so when I say want to be made up, it's because of their actions. No well trained law enforcement professional would do what they're doing. They don't drag people by their hair. They don't even go up to cars and try to pull open the doors to try to open it. And here's the reason why. You don't go grabbing on the door, you don't know what's behind it. That's to keep yourself safe. No law enforcement well trained professional will go and stand in front or on the side of a vehicle that has their motor running because you don't put yourself in danger haphazardly. No law enforcement professional would shoot in a moving vehicle because you could shoot through that vehicle, that bullet can go into somebody's house and kill or injure an innocent person. All of this is because it keeps you safe and because the community's safe. So the actions that I'm seeing is not a law enforcement professional. So when I'm being facetious when I say made up fake, because those actions is not what we do.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. Now, could you please clarify? Does the sheriff's office have the right to arrest ICE agents? If so, where and under what circumstances?
See what you're missing. Everybody's missing the whole point. That was Larry Krasner's press conference, and the district attorney said this: that if you come into the city and commit a crime, just like anybody else, you will be charged, you will be arrested, and you will go to jail. The sheriff does have arrest powers, but I said basically we will transport you to wherever you want to go. So if the DA charges you, arrests you, then we will transport you to wherever you need to go.
Understood. Okay, so the DA will do the arresting.
Because that's what the press conference was about. See, they're trying to zero in on me, zero
Right.
in on the whole press conference.
Got it. Thank you. Um, now, the police department issued a statement in response to your comments, which appear to be an attempt to put distance between the department and you. How do you perceive that statement that was put up by Commissioner Bethel?
First of all, I'm not going to take this statement as negative because most people around the world or the country don't know the distinct situation here in Philadelphia. We are a city and a county agency. And so there is a police department that does patrol investigation, and it's the sheriff. But we have distinct responsibilities. And so when I made the statement that everybody took haywire and not the total facts of it, they started calling the police department. And so he had the right to come out and say, hold up, we are distinct two different agencies. The person that made that statement is me, the sheriff. That means you got a police department and you have a sheriff department. And so that's how I took it. He needed to protect his people because they were calling them because they did not know that there's a police department and a sheriff department, a city and county agency here in the city.
Got it. Have you spoken to Commissioner Bethel
No,
since all this
not
kicked up?
yet.
Okay. How would you characterize your relationship with Bethel?
We have been working together on issues in this city since I've been in office. I've known him when I was a police officer in the police department. So I don't have any problems with Bethel. And if anybody tried to make up something like that, then they wrong.
Okay. Now, besides you and DA Krasner, few other Philadelphia officials have spoken critically about ICE. Um, specifically, Mayor, that includes Mayor Parker. Why do you think there's been that silence?
I don't know. I cannot read other people's minds or reasons. I do not know.
Okay. Now, some of your harshest critics have said that what you said about ICE is illegal and that you should be prosecuted. I think you've heard some of that. What's your response to those people?
And so I guess freedom of speech doesn't work for a black woman, huh? Uh, Basically, I made the statements, they're factual, and I should be arrested. Then if I committed a crime, I guess so, but I ain't commit no crime. And those that commit crimes are the ones that need to be arrested. Yeah,
Okay.
I laugh at
Now,
that.
you touched on it, but just for those again, we have a national audience. We're not just in Philadelphia. So for those who aren't familiar with Philadelphia's law enforcement environment, what are your responsibilities as the sheriff versus the police department?
Well, we're basically like the arms of the court. We transport, we deal with the real estate, tangible property here in the city. We the fiduciaries between the city and homeowners and banks and that kind of stuff. We have K9 unit, warrant unit that goes out every day serving warrants. We have a civil unit, which is our civil integrity unit. We have bike unit that patrols around Center City where the courts are. Those are the things. Community outreach, constituent services. We do that, um, and we collaborate with different law enforcement agencies when we want to go out and get those that are wanted in this city. So
Okay. Now, annually, how often does a deputy sheriff fire their guns? How many shootings are there given in a given year, like this past year, 2025? Do you happen to know that number?
no,
Uh,
I
okay.
don't know that number.
Do you know the last?
They're not out on patrol, so they don't go shooting at individuals. So I don't know what you're saying about that. They have to be recertified every year with their weapon.
Okay. Do you know when's the last time a deputy sheriff shot somebody on duty?
Um, they didn't shoot a person. I think there was an incident where they shot at a dog that was coming at them out
Okay.
while it was serving a warrant.
And
No,
when was that?
out while maybe a couple months ago,
So
maybe
it's safe to say.
last month.
I'm sorry.
Last month, at while they was out doing an eviction, there was a situation with an animal.
Okay, so it's safe to say that your deputy sheriffs don't they don't use their guns as often as the city police department.
Now I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that because if the deputies who are sworn and trained, if there's an incident where they have to protect themselves and use their gun, they have the right to do so.
No, of course, but
So
but it's not
they don't patrol the streets to be having encounters as much as the police department do because the police department patrols the streets.
okay. So sure, let me ask this. This may be a little off kilter too, but Philadelphia saw the largest drop in homicides of any large city in the country in 2025, according to the police department, the Pew Charitable Trust, and others who track data. I'm just curious, what's your? Do you have any thoughts on what's behind the drop in the gun bloodshed, and what needs to happen to keep the peace going?
I, I'm trying to figure out what are you trying to say. So if you say crime is down, and that's
Yes.
because everybody is working together.
Hmm.
All law enforcement agencies, including the sheriffs, are all working together, and community organizations. Community organization plays a great part in the crime being down. There's a whole lot of organizations that are out there on the streets and working with those that may be at risk of picking up a gun. And so I believe because of everyone working together is why the crime is down.
Okay. Now, on a personal note, you are a former Philadelphia police officer. And then, if my memory serves right, you became the police chief out in Delaware, in a small community out in Delaware County.
Public Safety Director, Cowan Borough. That's correct.
Where's that?
Cowan Borough.
Harwan Borough. Okay,
Hmm.
that's what it was.
Hmm.
And so, and now you're the sheriff. You were elected sheriff several years ago. Um, what inspired you to enter the law enforcement field?
When you talking about in 1986,
Yes. Or yeah, what made Rochelle
maybe
Bilal want to become a
a,
cop?
a cop, because I saw what was happening in our communities back then. I didn't want to be a cop. It wasn't in my family tree to be one. Um, I was more like an activist because I saw back in 1986 what police was doing to the communities that I lived in. It was the Guardian Civic League that filed a lawsuit against this city and got a consent decree, basically saying how many of us need to be in that class of percentage. And so they went around recruiting. My two girlfriends that I grew up with joined the police department first. And they came to try to convince me, well, I was reluctant. But guess what they said?
What?
You need to be the change you want to see happen in these communities. So that's when I decided that I was going to be a law enforcement professional. That's when I decided to join the police department.
And for clarity, you say they needed us. They wanted a certain number of us in the class.
Yes, because they filed a lawsuit and they got a consent decree because they wasn't hiring people that looked like me and you back then.
Black
Right,
people.
that's
Okay, very
correct. And so
good.
that consent decree, and that meant the guardian had to get out there and pound the ground to convince us to
Recruit
join. Right, to
people like
recruit us. And they said you need to be the change you want to see. And so I became that change.
okay. Now, how does it feel being the subject of so much public conversation that you have that's happened since last week, since you first said they don't want that smoke?
It's first of all for people to get the things right and they want to slice it off to what they think I said and what I meant is is the issue with them. It's uncomfortable when people try to threaten you, but I've been in this position before. When you speak up, sometimes you're alone, or sometimes people walk with you. But when you speak truth to power, you keep it moving. And so I stand on what I said, and I'm gonna keep it moving.
Sheriff Rochelle Bilal, thank you so much for your time. One other factoid: how many deputy sheriffs do you have?
Right now, I think we're about 283. We have always been underfunded. And so I went on a major recruitment drive, and a lot of people is applying. So we're getting some new deputies in the sheriff's office.
And what's your goal?
620.
Wow. So you have 283 now and you want 620?
Well, when we did a feasible study, it says for us to do everything that everybody want us to do, 620 is needed.
How long do you think it's going to take you to close that gap?
I don't even know if it's ever going to close that gap, but we're going to keep trying.
And what's your annual budget for this year?
About 32 million.
Okay. And do you plan to run for reelection?
I will make that announcement.
Sheriff, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.